My husband started an affair with our son's girlfriend. I'm filing for divorce. In this post, I will use fictitious names. I'm 41. I'm a housewife. Let my husband be half 48. He works in the financial sector. We've been married for almost 20 years. We have 2 children. Son Eric, he's 18. He's in his senior year. And Mary's daughter, she's 15. My children are the light of my life. My marriage to Paul has become quite bland over the years for a variety of reasons. His work schedule, I've aged since we met, and so on. Our son Eric is dating a girl named Emmy. She's also 18. They've been together since 9th grade. Eric dotes on her. This is his first love, and I've always considered her a part of our family. That's why everything that happens breaks my heart. Last week, I happened to see my husband's phone screen and noticed a conversation between him and Emmy, our son's girlfriend. There was a message from her. "I miss you and I dream of sucking you off again." I froze in disbelief. I've been telling myself all day that I just read it wrong. But no, I was not mistaken. Over the next few days, I found a whole folder of strawberries on my husband's computer. He's obviously addicted. There were also saved photos of Emmy from her Instagram. She was wearing clothes on them, but the fact itself confirmed that I wasn't going crazy. I also checked his phone when I got the chance and saw even more of their messages. I wish I hadn't done that. They were full of nasty things about me, constantly comparing me to her. He called me fat and old, and Emmy just laughed. I've always had suspicions that my gender was being cheated on, but even in my worst dreams, I couldn't imagine such a thing. Last month, I found a thong in our bedroom that definitely wasn't mine. I turned a blind eye to it, foolishly convinced myself that maybe they belonged to Mary. Although this is complete nonsense. Paul isn't just cheating on me. He betrayed our son. I am completely terrified. Words cannot describe the despair, anger, and shock that I am experiencing right now. I do not know how to deal with this at all, because one thing is clear. Something needs to be done, but I am afraid. It's going to be such a blow for Eric. How do I even start this conversation? I wouldn't regret it even to my worst enemy. I can't believe I ever married that bastard. Then I started to remember that Paul's behavior started to show up around the time Emmy turned 18. Was he waiting for her to come of age so he could start sleeping with her? There's too much dirty laundry in this story, and I'm paralyzed with fear and dread. It just doesn't make sense. How could I come to this? Am I stupid enough to let all this happen under my nose? Eric adores Emmy, and the very idea of revealing this disgusting truth to him terrifies me. This can deal a devastating blow to his young soul and psyche. It breaks my heart for Eric and Mary, who are absolutely innocent of anything. I still haven't presented anything to my husband because, frankly, I'm afraid of the domino effect. I do not know where to start. I am sharing my story not out of pity, but in search of understanding and, perhaps, conscience from those who also had to face betrayal of this magnitude. Thank you for listening. The first update. My brother gave me the contact of a very tough and tenacious lawyer. He's a real fighting dog professionally. I've saved screenshots of all of Sammy's husband's correspondence. It was possible to restore only the last 3 months of correspondence from iCloud. It was mostly flirting and dirty talk, but it was disgusting to read. There were also some unpleasant things said about me. The call history showed that they talked for hours quite regularly. The husband uses dating apps. I took screenshots of his profiles and all the active chats with the girls. It became clear that he was putting a filter on girls between the ages of 18 and 22. I copied all the files from his computer. He sits in intimate forums and spends a lot of money on OnlyFans. I searched all possible hiding places in the house, found his toys, blindfolds, handcuffs, lubricants, and more. There were also outfits similar to a schoolgirl's uniform and a French maid's costume. I picked up Eric and Mary from school, and we went to my brother's place. The children immediately realized that something was wrong. On the way, I carefully told them everything. At some point, she burst into tears. Mary was even more angry than Eric. I met with Emmy's mom and told her everything. She took her daughter's phone and gave me her username and password from her correspondence. Again, I found the message only in the last 3 months, just like in my husband's cloud, as if they deleted everything at the same time. She said that Emmy burst into tears during the conversation. She assured her mother that she would never understand their relationship because they were in love with each other. I don't want to go into details about what else she said, but the bottom line is that her husband slowly, gradually became a kind of wise mentor for her, whom she could rely on. He took advantage of the fact that she came from a dysfunctional family. Emmy continues to insist that everything was platonic until she turned 18, and that he used to be just a friend and mentor. I called Paul on the buzzer. His face was scary to look at. He was red in the face, sweating, and there was panic and anger in his eyes. The voice is defensive and intimidating. He just screamed that none of this had happened. He was stuttering and nervous. His words didn't make any sense. I refused to tell him where I was, and then he said that I had no right to take his children away from him, and just left the Zoom. My lawyer is applying for temporary sole custody of Mary and seeking a restraining order. Mary is still furious. She is furious with her father and Emmy, and she is quite fair. She remembers the moments when her father talked to her friends, and she feels uneasy. Eric is clearly suffering, but he is very dignified and reasonable. He wants to go to a therapist. I am proud of the maturity shown by my children. They didn't deserve it. We have informed the relevant authorities about everything. I'm not going to show the slightest leniency, and I'm going to be ruthless in this divorce. I think a lot about how Paul treated me all these years, how he turned me into a shadow of myself, how he made me think badly of myself for the last 20 years. I'm not going to let this scum just walk away from the consequences. I want to regain my confidence and move on. I will be stronger than ever. The second update. Thanks again to everyone for their support and kind words. It means a lot to me. I've received a lot of comments and messages accusing me of making it all up. And strangely enough, it also gives me some comfort. Everything that is happening still seems unreal, even to me. This confirms my own feelings. There are people who can't even imagine that this is true. I wish it was all fiction, too. I was so focused on the feelings of others that I forgot about my own. I'm trying to change that now. I slide into rage, then into complete stupor, as if on cue. My children and I are safe and still living with my brother. We are very careful and his house is well protected. Paul calls me several times a day, but I completely ignore him. And now my lawyer is in charge of all contacts with him. To be honest, he scares me. My brother has a great house, alarm system, powerful locks. We feel safe. My son and I went to the doctor and were tested for STDs. So far, rapid tests show that we are both clean, but the final laboratory results will be later. I'm not too worried. Eric has an appointment with a therapist early next week, and that's very good. He needs it. He's not himself at all right now, like he's in shock. And that worries me. He keeps everything to himself. It's hard to understand what's on his mind. But at the same time, he talks attentively to me, asks how I feel. He doesn't want to have anything to do with his father. Paul only calls Eric and Mary on my phone. He didn't even try to text or call. I have a feeling that Paul is very nervous right now. He's scared. I think deep down he understands that if they start seriously testing him, he'll end up in the shit. According to the word of mouth, my intuition tells me exactly that. I still remember that buzzer. And the more I think about it, the more convinced I become. In front of me was a man whose whole world was collapsing. The panic on his face was absolutely obvious. I suggested that Mary enroll her in a psychologist, but she refused. She said that maybe she would agree later, but for now she needed to be alone with herself. She asks her friends if they felt anything strange about their father's behavior. The girls answer honestly, and it seems that Paul often stared at them and stayed close when they came to visit us. One of her friends even said that she felt like he was looking at her, especially her ass. And somehow once he even commented on the color of her leggings. It didn't seem strange at the time, but now it looks different. Mary's friend said that he always sat down where he could see her well. He also asked the girls which company they socialized with, all the while wondering if they were among the popular girls. I'm terribly ashamed that they went through all this in my house. As for the news about Bohm, this is actually the main reason why I decided to write this update in the first place. I totally agree that she is also a victim. Many people emphasize this attention, and I agree with that. I did everything I could to at least indirectly give her a chance to get help. As I said before, I've told her mother everything, and she keeps me posted. Unfortunately, Emmy is still living in a kind of delusional fog, and I can only pray that she wakes up eventually. She doesn't want to go to doctors or psychotherapists and tries to get in touch with Paul all the time because, according to her, they are in love. As far as I know, he ignores her and completely avoids communication. Emmy blames me for this. He thinks I took everything from him. Devices, and I act like a controlling, hysterical woman. Any attempt by Emmy's mother to be aggressive. To her, I'm the villain, and Paul is still the perfect man in her eyes. Emmy's mom showed her screenshots of his profiles and dating apps and correspondence with other girls. But Emmy refused to believe it. She said I photoshopped everything. According to her mother, Emmy keeps saying that everyone is angry just because she found a real man, and I'm supposedly jealous because she's better at taking care of him than I am. This resonates with the correspondence that I have saved. The floor in them constantly complains about what I do it for him in intimacy. Now she is sure that she and Paul will be together in the long run. Ugh, he is really just a slug. I can only hope that Emmy will come to her senses eventually. Maybe later. The third update. Again, I want to say a huge thank you for all the support. She is really powerful, and I'm very grateful. Unfortunately, I've also received a lot of negative accusatory and even insulting personal messages from people who think I made it all up. Someone wrote somewhere in the comments that my story was allegedly exposed, and many they believed it. There were noticeably more messages accusing me of inventing all this for the sake of money. But I'm not asking anyone for anything. I came here solely in a state of emotional despair. I repeat, I am not pursuing any benefits. I have nothing to gain from this. If you don't believe, well, I don't care. The only thing I ask is that you don't cross the line. Don't send me angry or accusing messages. I keep sharing just for the sake of those who supported me. As for the divorce, it is in full swing. I don't want to go into details, because the process is still coming, and I want everything to go smoothly. I have temporary custody of Mary. Polazin to pay temporary alimony. The SOD issued a restraining order. Paul is forbidden to contact us or approach us. Right now, we refocused on getting through this whole legal nightmare. Again, I won't go into details, but I can say that besides the divorce, we have a lot of evidence against Paul, and they can seriously affect his life. I'm sure I'll be able to talk about it in more detail later. I know that many people are concerned about his predatory behavior. I want to assure you, justice will prevail. Your concern about the psychological state of my children means a lot to me. Eric has been in therapy twice in the last 2 weeks. I know some people thought I was underestimating his pain and pretending he was okay. But I understand perfectly well that he is suffering, and we are doing everything possible to make him feel support and love. My brother is just a hero. He spends a lot of time with the church and Mary, and they both trusted him and shared their feelings. My brother has a strong marriage, and he and his wife have been very supportive of us all during this difficult time. Mary hasn't gone to the therapy, but she promised that she would do it soon. I notice how her anger is gradually turning into sadness. I really hope that she will still agree to therapy. Her friends played an important role in this whole story, and it's not easy for Mary to make sense of it now either. I know that many people are worried about Emmy's condition. There were a lot of questions about whether Eric and Emmy saw each other at school. It may seem like they're studying together, but they're not. They actually went to the same high school and met there. But then Emmy went to a Catholic girls' school, and Eric and Mary also stayed in the state. We all live in the same city, and it was in the summer before high school that they began to actively communicate and meet. I wish I could share the good news about Emma. The situation has only worsened since the last update. Paul actually started dating her again, despite the fact that her mom tried her best to stop it. Emmy told her mother, "I'm 18. I'm an adult. I can decide for myself." Emmy's mom is in a very difficult position. If she throws her daughter out of the house for disobedience, and she has already threatened to do so, which, in my opinion, is a big mistake, Emmy will just go to Paul for good. She is spending more and more time with Paul, especially this week. There were days when she would disappear for hours on end. Unfortunately, I can't do more in this situation, but given what I know about Paul and what's about to happen, I believe things can still change. I just pray that Emmy can get help and an epiphany when everything completely collapses. Right now, I'm focused on my children and my own mental health. Emmy's mom knows that I support her, and that's probably all I can do at the moment. The fourth update. I'm sorry I haven't written for so long. I didn't expect that people would continue to support me so massively even after all this time. Thank you very much. I received so many messages that I was physically unable to answer them all, so I decided to tell you how things are going for me and the children now. And Mary and Eric has been through a serious injury. They still go to psychotherapists. A whole year has passed, and the consequences have not gone away. The scale of the destruction that Paul left behind still amazes me. To be honest, I don't think I'll ever fully recover. Paul and Emmy dated for several more months after the divorce proceedings began. I tried to keep in touch with Emmy's mom. She hoped that we could open her eyes to Paul's perverted behavior. Maybe she'll decide to speak out against him if he did something to her before her 18th birthday. But Emmy didn't want to talk about anything. She was still in love. A couple of weeks before the divorce was finalized, Paul disappeared. He took everything from our shared accounts that I didn't have time to block and ran away. Later, we found out that he had bought a one-way ticket to Cambodia. I didn't know anything about it. We have almost completed the divorce process. I had full custody of Mary. He didn't argue with anything. And then Paul just stopped contacting me. I didn't come to court. I didn't file anything. Zero. It was as if he had disappeared. According to her mother, Emmy was killed by this and is now completely out of her mind. She actually lives as a tramp, spends the night with various friends, refuses to return home. My lawyer filed a motion for a decision due to the lack of gender, and the court granted it. The technical divorce is completed. I have custody. He's violating the order of the elements, but it doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't exist. Cambodia does not have an extradition treaty. No mechanisms for collecting alimony, nothing. There is no way to make him come back. There is no way to make him pay. We don't even know exactly where he is in Cambodia right now. But the fact that Cambodia is known for its reputation as one of the epicenters of child trafficking chills my blood. Eric is currently in college. He distanced himself as much as possible from everything related to gender. He doesn't say much, but he's confident. I know he's in pain. He just doesn't show it. Mary is also silent, but sometimes small details come up that she remembers in a new light. Recently, she asked me if I thought Paul would come back. I didn't answer. I don't think she really expected an answer. I do not know what Paul is doing in Cambodia right now. I do not know who he is with there. I can't imagine what his life looks like. Some advised me to contact the FBI or try to initiate an international investigation. I called and gave everything I could, but the authorities don't have many opportunities if a person hasn't formally committed a crime that can be proven in the United States. I don't believe he left just to avoid alimony. I think he's a pervert, and I think he's a criminal. Perhaps that's all. I have nothing more to add. Thank you all for your concern and participation. So, before we move on to the next story, write your comment on this story. What do you think about it all? I don't understand why the author puts such harsh labels on her husband, like he's some kind of pervert, and she tried to file with the FBI. The FBI? Like, well, for what at all? It's unclear, because, well, in fact, her husband did nothing absolutely illegal. Even if he started dating this girl a little earlier, but he was waiting for her 18th birthday, then what is illegal in this in fact? The fact that he is, well, it's 100% absolutely an ugly act, especially considering that he was dating his son's girlfriend. It's beyond simple. Of course, there was one ugly moment with these girlfriends of my daughter. Yes, it's also very ugly, but again, staring at them is not some kind of crime. And yes, I would really, really hate it. And yes, if I were these girls, I would avoid such a dude. And yes, as his wife, I wouldn't like it very much either. But then again, there's nothing inherently illegal about it. Anyway, I'm already getting ready to throw tomatoes in the comments and move on to the next story. I think my husband cheated on me yesterday. Perhaps this has been happening for a long time. How do I find out the truth? I am 38 years old. My husband and I, he's 40 years old, have been together for 17 years. Almost 15 of them are married. We have 5 children. We've always had a great relationship. He's an amazing husband and father. They provide for my family, take care of my emotional and physical needs, and make sure that we always have fun and interesting times. He showers me with attention, often gives me flowers, everything I could ever dream of. I try to be the most loving and affectionate wife. I always tell him how much I love him and how much I appreciate him. Yesterday morning, I saw 2 messages on his phone from a woman whose name didn't mean anything to me. It said, "Come and get it, and you'll be surprised." Both messages had red hearts. I was so shocked and overwhelmed that I didn't say a word and pretended that everything was fine. I didn't have time to check my phone because he left for work almost immediately. I got home about an hour later than usual and said I was stuck in traffic, but I've been tracking his location. He drove into some unknown area and spent about 30 minutes there. I thought we were fine, so I really don't want to believe that he's cheating. But all the facts suggest otherwise. We watched a movie together last night, and today we went to the beach with the kids and friends. Still, I can't stop replaying it in my head. He has a wife and 5 beautiful children who love him. I just don't understand how he could risk all this. How do I find out the truth? Comments. You just need to talk to him. Perhaps there is a logical explanation. I'm terrified that the truth will turn out to be exactly what I think it is. If your husband is innocent and you dump it on him, I know everything. It can destroy the marriage, and the blame will be on you. Right now you have only 2 messages and evidence, not that many. Or if he just made an agreement with a colleague or friend about some kind of gift or surprise for you, and you decided that he was cheating on you. Healthy, open communication is what holds a marriage together. If you can't just sit next to him and say, "Listen, I didn't go through your phone, but I accidentally saw these messages." They arouse suspicion. What's happening? So your marriage isn't as strong as you think it is. The update. Well, we're fine. To be clear, there was not a single obvious sign of betrayal. My husband is still emotionally involved in our relationship. We have an active, intimate life. He is as loving and attentive as ever. He doesn't hide his phone. He doesn't disappear for a long time without explanation. The fact is that after the birth of my youngest child, I started having problems with my eating behavior, and in 2 years I gained about 16 kilograms. My self-esteem, confidence, and intimate life with my husband were terrible back then. But it's been almost a year now. I get up early for training with him, monitor my diet, cook healthier meals for the whole family, and during this time I lost about 7 kilograms. My husband has been very supportive and affectionate all this time. My confidence has returned a bit, and our sex life is much better now than it was in those years. But still, I sometimes feel insecure, especially against the background of the fact that my husband has become even weirder and more pumped up during the marriage. Get to the point. I am completely unable to lie and hide something from my husband, so I could not follow the path of reverse psychology, as some advised. Last night, when the children had already gone to bed, I told my husband straight out that I had seen those messages on his phone and was tracking his location. I demanded an explanation. He laughed, thought I was joking, but I literally started crying and said I needed the truth. Then he said that we needed to get out and that he wanted to show us something. I opened the trunk of the car, and there was a package. He said to open it. There was a photo album inside. The chronology of our photos with him and the children for all 15 years of marriage. It was supposed to be an anniversary present, which is in a few days. The messages were from his colleague, whose husband makes custom albums for special occasions. Her husband discussed with her the creation of an individual album. On Friday evening, he stopped by to pick it up, and the red hearts, she just puts them in every message. He showed me all the correspondence. There were also the same messages that I saw. He didn't delete anything. He even joked that I had ruined his surprise. And we sat late into the night, leafing through the album, remembering moments from the past. All I can say is that I am immensely grateful to my husband. That's all. Top comments. The moral of the whole fable. It's not always worth listening to us assholes. Everything worked out this time. You need to get away from him. Oh, sorry, it's already on the machine. In general, this is the end of the story. Very unusual for our channel, as it seems to me. Usually, if some kind of betrayal is hatched, then it really happens, but not here. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Watch our previous video, which you will see here.